5 misconceptions about jewelry. Number 1 is regarding sterling silver. You've probably heard of sterling silver if you've ever looked into jewelry. Tiffany's is the most popular for their sterling silver pieces. However, if you have ever bought, owned, used sterling silver, you will quite quickly find out that they may look like this. As in, they may tarnish, they may turn black, they may look like they somehow are defective, but that is just the natural property of sterling silver. All sterling silver jewelry, unless it's coated with some sort of protective tarnish-free layer, all sterling silver tarnishes, and that is not a quality issue. That is simply the trait of sterling silver, which means if you're not willing to spend the effort to polish your sterling silver pieces, I would say at least once every few weeks if you're wearing it on a very regular basis, then I would just stay away from sterling silver. It doesn't matter where you buy your sterling silver from, whether it's something like Tiffany's name brand or even on Etsy. They will do the same thing, they will tarnish. So really think twice before you commit into sterling silver. The second misconception is designer jewelry doesn't equate fine jewelry, because when you look at the price point of designer jewelry for something like a Chanel brooch, they could go upwards of $2,000, even $3,000, and you would think that you would be buying fine jewelry at that price point. But for the most part, unless it says fine jewelry or it's in the fine jewelry category, most of your designer jewelry pieces, like a beautiful brooch like this, is just made of colored metal. There is absolutely no fine jewelry metals in this whatsoever. This is a gold colored metal. It's not even gold plated. In fact, for a couple of decades now, even the Chanel bags do not have gold plated metal buckle, versus I would say at least 2-3 decades ago, Chanel bags used to have gold plated metal buckles. Just because you're paying a pretty penny for a luxury fashion jewelry doesn't always mean that it is fine jewelry. So if you're looking into buying fine jewelry pieces that will last a lifetime, definitely triple check the actual components of the metal. And if you just want a piece of a designer house, if you want a symbol of the brand, then you can buy the fashion jewelry, which will be a lot cheaper than the fine jewelry collection of the same fashion house. But just know that the materials may not be the highest quality, things may rub off or tarnish, especially the diamante gemstones and little pearly bits may even fall off. That's quite common in the Chanel fashion jewelry line. Misconception number 3 is when it comes to ring sizes. Your fingers could very easily fluctuate in sizes. That is to do with the climate you live in. In the summer, because it is hotter, our fingers tend to swell a little bit, which means your ring size will actually go up, versus in the winter time, your ring size may decrease. This is particularly important when you are investing a lot of money on fine jewelry rings. I have an example here. This is the Cartier Love wedding band. I got this, I think, in the winter time, and I got it in the size for my ring finger. Now, because it is still winterish, it fits. However, this ring would not fit on my ring finger if this is the summertime. So you just have to kind of keep that in mind and know that if you are buying a particular ring, you might want to think about the seasons you want to wear this ring most and the finger that you want to wear that particular ring most. Which also brings the point of, if you're trying to invest in fine jewelry ring, I highly recommend going to the secondhand market, just because the value of the rings drop quite significantly once they enter the pre-loved market, because there's so many size options. It's not the most common that you will find a lot of options in your specific ring size, which also means that it's a little bit harder to sell designer or fine jewelry rings. And that's how I scored this Cartier ring from a Japanese reseller on eBay. Along the same lines, especially if you're looking into engagement, wedding bands, definitely pay attention to the season that you are buying. So for example, if you're buying the rings in the winter, you probably don't want them to be too snug, because otherwise in the summer, they may not even fit. Misconception number 4 is about lab-grown diamond. From the name of it, it sounds like it is man-made diamond, because there is the word lab and the word grown in the name versus your traditional mined diamond. However, these two are the exact same thing. The lab-grown diamonds have the exact same characteristics and composition of mined diamond, which is great news for us, because lab-grown diamonds are typically a lot cheaper and a lot more readily available. It just costs a lot less than hiring a lot of labor to mine diamonds in nature. The only difference really is in your head, and also how these fine jewelry brands market the diamond pieces. For example, my engagement ring is a lab-grown diamond, and this cost, I would say, probably a 1/10 of the cost of a mined diamond of the same size, and it looks the exact same, and it means the exact same to me as well. So if you don't really care that much about knowing your diamond is mined from nature, then I would just 100% recommend going for lab-grown diamond to save a lot of money, but also have the equal effect as your traditional mined diamond. The last misconception is about jewelry categories in general. Just because something is sold as a necklace, it doesn't mean you can't wrap it around to turn it into a bracelet. It doesn't mean you can't connect it to another necklace to turn it into a belt, or even like a crossbody strap. Just because something is sold as a brooch doesn't mean that you can't turn it into a little pendant on your necklace. Jewelry, at the end of the day, is simply metal. Stylized metal pieces with different closure options. So if you really break down the essence of jewelry, then you can come up with a lot more creative ways to use different jewelry pieces beyond its marketed category. In fact, I have a dedicated video talking about 10 different ways that you can creatively style your jewelry pieces. The more you play with jewelry, the more customized and true to yourself you can make those pieces be. For example, I just put my brooch on this necklace, and all of a sudden it looks like I have a statement Chanel necklace. This not only creates more individualized styles, but also saves you a lot of money, because you can now really just look beyond what the jewelry pieces are sold as, but come up with really creative and new ways to use them. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more jewelry videos.